Hi, hey, hello peeps, it's Sunny, and welcome back to another ranking for the channel. Basically, in this video, if you don't know, this is my second channel. So on my main channel, I did a music essay on the legendary Beatles, the band, and for this episode of rankings, I'm pretty much gonna rank all the albums that I covered in that video, which is all their studio albums and such. And yeah, if you don't know the Beatles, they're a legendary, band. They've made some of the most iconic music of all time. Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, George Harrison, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, yeah, this is pretty much just gonna be me ranking all their albums. And yeah, they don't really have any bad albums except for one, in my opinion. But we're about to get into it. Yeah, not much else to say. This is my ranking of the Beatles. Number 13, Yellow Submarine. I mean, I feel like this is literally everybody's bottom pick in every ranking or list or whatever. Because I mean, it's true, the Beatles don't really have a bad record, subjectively, except for this one. I'm sorry, it's just I didn't even know it was gonna be this way going in. I was expecting another great Beatles album because, for those who don't know, Yellow Submarine is sort of like a soundtrack because they made 3 Beatles films, and the other 2, there's 2 more before that are high on this list. They're more than just soundtracks. They actually are full-on Beatles albums, and yet, well, this one, the reason it's so bad is that it's not a Beatles record at all. Maybe I'm more positive about it, because even though it's not a good record, it's only not a good record because it's not really a Beatles record. Because there's actually, I'm pretty sure from what I remember, only 4 actual Beatles songs here, and the rest of it are just orchestrations, orchestral compositions for the film. And don't get me wrong, the reason why I'm more positive is that I do like, the non-Beatles songs on this album. They're really good. The problem is that, again, I mean, it's not a Beatles album. I don't know why they did this the same way. They couldn't have done it with their other 2 soundtracks or whatever, where those other soundtracks are literally full on Beatles albums. Every single song Beatles album, Beatles song, and they actually are they're great Beatles songs. And even with the Beatles songs on here, there's only one really good one, because there's 2 others that, from what I remember, are literally just reused from their previous albums, and then one that I'm just really not a fan of. Yeah, I believe the one I like is Hey Bulldog. If that's, I don't have my notes with me, so yeah. But yeah, that's the reason why. It's just the songs themselves, aside one really poor Beatles song, they're all good. It's just, again, it's not a Beatles record, so that's why obviously it's bottom. But yeah, this is the only one I really don't like. Every single one I really do enjoy. So yeah. Number 12, Please Please Me. Now, I wouldn't say I got flack, but on the main video I saw a lot of people commenting how I wasn't being too generous to their earliest stuff, and rewatching it I could see where they I guess got my opinion from. But I'll reinstate it here. It's not that I I'm not like everybody else. People have their opinions, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm not like everybody else where oh yeah, the Beatles sucked at the beginning, but they only got good with Rubber Soul and onwards. No, I thought they were always great from the start. Again, their only really bad record is Yellow Submarine. It's just I do really enjoy Please Please Me a lot, and their early stuff. I think it's just that I wouldn't I feel like I fucked up by saying it's generic. It's not that it's generic. The Beatles do have their own unique style from even the very beginning with their debut album here. I think it's just the reason people attach to Rubber Soul and onwards a lot more is that it's not from the start all the way to those records it's oh, the Beatles finally got good, or the Beatles are getting better. It's more so the Beatles got more distinct and variety, because in this record, I do enjoy it. I could totally re-listen to it again. Like, it's a fun album for its time, and I still think it holds up, and it's a lot of fun. It's got that summertime vibe to it, rock out, rock and roll kind of thing. But I think the reason I didn't attach to it so much is that it definitely feels like a debut album, which, don't get me wrong, like, it's still great, and the Beatles do have their own flair to it. I think it's just, it feels like a really, like, starter album. Like, this is someone's first album. But it's not a bad thing, it's just, again, compared to the other ones where they really, I guess you can say, get more, even further and further into their own unique aesthetic and try bunch of different things, that it's really fun. And again, like, this album isn't bad. All the songs, there's not one single song here I would say is mediocre, or even just a 6 out of 10, like, oh, it's good. Like, no, I think every single song is either solid or really, really great. I think it's just, aside like 2 or 3 songs, they all kind of sound the same. And, like, on their own, they're great. But as an album experience, like, I wouldn't say it was getting too repetitive. It's just, like, I needed something more. I think that's why people attach to those later ones. But this is still a great album. Don't get me wrong. It's still really good. And I enjoy it a lot. It's just, like, as it keeps going on and on, like, as it sounds more and more the same, because I like, obviously, like, if you get a pop album, every song's going to be a pop album or a pop song. And every rock album, every rock album, every song's going to be a rock song. That's not the problem. It's just that, like, you still need to have each song have their own distinct feel. And again, aside like 2 or 3 songs, every song kind of just meshed well together, But that's my only reason why, like, I hold it back so much. But it's just still, I still enjoy it a lot, and I still think it's worth listening to. Even if you're not listening to every Beatles album, like, all in one go, like me, like, just listen to it on your own. And unlike Yellow Submarine, even though this is the second placement so far, this is far like above Yellow Submarine. Like, it's not even fucking close. Like, every ranking from here on out is it's like, yes, this is an album worth your time. If you listen to it, you won't be disappointed, unless you change your opinion. But yeah, that's just my personal gripe, my personal, like, viewpoint. So I hope that helps you out better understand, and you can rewatch that video, trying to understand, because it's kind of hard, because that was my first music essay, so it's kind of hard for me to really, like, express myself. But yeah, that's why I put Please Please Me here. Number 11, A Hard Day's Night. I still think this one's really solid. It's definitely better than Please Please Me, only by a little bit, because the reason why I place it here is because listening to Please Please Me, I already stated my opinion. I enjoyed it. And then going on to With the Beatles, I really enjoyed it a lot. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it was a far more improved Please Please Me, because every song, it definitely had much more variety here. But in my personal opinion, maybe if I re-listen to it, but in my personal opinion, I think the reason I place A Hard Day's Night here is that going from With the Beatles to this one, it felt like regression. Like, I think, again, like, I think it's just the overall album experience just wasn't ticking with me. Sorry. And yeah, and so, but it still got a lot of great songs, like a lot of bangers, like, this definitely has a lot more memorable songs than Please Please Me. Obviously A Hard Day's Night is great. If I Fell and I Love Her, Tell Me Why, Can't Buy Me Love, I'll Be Back. Like, it does have a lot greater songs. I think it's just the overall flow of it wasn't really ticking with me. But yeah, that's why I place it here. And yeah, it's still a solid album though. And I do want to watch the film, because I believe this is one of these soundtrack albums. But yeah, that's why I place it here. It's still a solid record. I guess it's just, it doesn't hit as much as the other ones. Speaking of With the Beatles, at number 10, With the Beatles. This is a great sort of successor to Please Please Me. Like I stated just before, sorry, I got a runny nose today. I think, like, again, it feels like a progression from Please Please Me. It's like, it's got much more variety with each song. Each song is memorable. It's got a better flow to it. I don't remember what problems I had with it, but all I know is that I really did enjoy it a lot, and then I would definitely revisit this one a lot more than the other two. Yeah, and it's great, and it's definitely got, yeah, it's got more variety, a better flow. Um, I think A Hard Day's Night has more better roundup of songs, but with the Beatles is more of a better album to listen to, like as a whole. Because I'm not ranking this off, oh, which one has the best songs? It's like, which one was just a great album that I can see revisiting a lot. And also, you know, it's not just like, oh, it has the best songs. It's like, it has the best, like, flow in between songs and stuff. You know, that's why, like, if I just ranked it off songs, then my ranking would be completely different. But, yeah, I don't have much else to say. That's why I put it here. A lot of the earlier stuff, I don't have much else to say because they're very, I would say like very samey because this was like their like early, you know, full time era and stuff. But yeah, that's why I place it here. Number 9, Beatles for Sale. So fun fact, I guess. I had no fucking clue because when I listened to this, it wasn't until after the video came out for the main that people had told me, like, they were surprised. Oh wow, you really like Beatles for Sale? Oh, that's interesting, you know, because you know, that album, you know, people didn't like it as much because every song was a cover song, and I actually had no fucking clue about that. Like all the research I did, like, you know, I wouldn't say I did like crazy research. I just did, you know, basic like info and stuff for the video. Like I had no clue, but I still really like this record a lot because I don't mind. I mean, sure, like, I can understand. I totally think the criticism is valid for, like, I don't know if you guys can hear that dumpster truck. Sorry. But, I hope the music drowns it out. But, like, obviously, like, if an artist put out an album, like, especially if you waited a long time, they didn't have to for this one because the Beatles came out with a new album or 2 albums every year. But, like, when an artist comes out with a new album and you've waited forever for it and it's just a bunch of cover songs, nothing original, I can understand the frustration. But I think for its time of how there were so many Beatles albums coming out, like 1 or 2 a year back in this era, like I mean, I guess I just didn't know that they were cover songs. So I guess that's why I placed it higher, because I think every song was great on here. This was the first one where I was like, okay, like this one's actually like really, really good. And it's a lot more fun, and I can totally revisit this one a lot more. And you know, I think it's interesting because, I mean, if an artist did a whole album of cover songs and they always release like 2 or 3 albums like every year, I wouldn't even mind it because, you know, I mean, I guess I have to listen to the original versions of the songs that the Beatles covered in this one, but like they sounded like their own, and they sounded great. Like, I mean, freaking Always Love You, Whitney Houston's cover, is much more recognized than the original Dolly Parton version, and I kind of prefer the Dolly Parton version. But I still like the Whitney Houston one, and I don't know. But yeah, I guess it's just I place this one higher because I guess I just didn't know. But even for cover songs, it's still really solid. Like they still put their effort into this. Even if I guess you could say it's lazy that they just did cover songs, like I still think it's really good. And there's a lot more energy into this one, so that's why I placed it here. Number 8, Let It Be. This might be like a total turnaround because I just putting a lot of the earlier stuff in this ranking so far. Well, the reason I put Let It Be here is that even though I know this wasn't the intentional final album for the Beatles, that's why, like, if some people watch that video and they're like, wait, like, Let It Be is not the final Beatles album. It is. It's just because of release. Abbey Road is the final one they made, but obviously that one was released before Let It Be. So I guess I can't really judge it as a final album, but let's just do both. Like, as a final album, it's not bad. It's solid. It's a great back to roots Beatle record, and it's still got a lot of great songs on it. And I guess it's weird because I place it here, yet I don't see myself revisiting it often. But I still think it's really great. It's definitely got some of the best production and overall just raw talent and passion put into it. But as a non-final album, it's still a solid, great Beatles record. Like, it's serviceable. You know, like the earlier stuff that I placed before, like, they're great, and they're definitely great for like just listening to music in general. But I feel like here on out, this is where it's like great, not just great music, like great Beatles music. And this is still really, really great record. I guess it's just, again, I won't revisit it as much often, especially compared to its last, the record prior, which is really the real final album. But we'll talk about that later in the video. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just put it here. Let It Be, the self-titled song, is really good, and yeah, I place it here. Number 7, Help. This is definitely kind of the last like early Beatles stuff record on the list. And the reason I put this so high and why it's my favorite of the early stuff is that with those other ones, even though I still enjoyed them a lot, there might be like one or two or three or a handful of songs, like they're not bad. Again, there's never been like a mediocre Beatles song, at least in my opinion, from any of these records aside Yellow Submarine. But some that like other ones just stand out more than these ones and stuff. So it's not like, oh, every song sucks. It's just every song would be outweighed by a lot of other ones in the album. But this is what was the first Beatles album when listening to the discography, their catalog, from start to finish, that like generally every fucking song was a hit. Like not one song was like, oh yeah, I liked it, but I kind of prefer this other one. Every song is equally great, and I love it a lot. It's definitely the best of, like, they really peaked with their overall, because this was the last one, I'm pretty sure, before Rubber Soul. This was their best of their early stuff, where they really nailed their overall like fun pop rock and roll, like summertime feel. I say summertime feel, but that's only because I don't know how else to describe it. That's how I feel listening to their stuff. And you know, it's got the most charisma and fun and banter and lyricism and rhythms and melodies, and you know, just overall arrangement. Like everything about it is just, it's just the best one. And I don't know what else to say. I just placed it here because yeah, it's the best one of their early stuff. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about how would you rank the Beatles album and stuff. But for at least in terms of their early stuff, I think it's an interesting discussion. Yeah, for me personally, I think Help is just my favorite of their early stuff. And yeah. Number 6, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Band? Club? I'm pretty sure it's band, right? Club Band. Got you. Right. That's where I fucked it up. Yeah, this is like their obviously, I think it's just because I'm a Tame Impala fanboy. I can see where Kevin Parker got his influence from, but I mean, I guess I'm a basic bitch, but the psychedelic Beatles era is just my personal favorite. Like, I just love psychedelic music so much, and it's just generally their best stuff. Not because all the other ones suck. It's because, I mean, again, I think they just really nailed the psychedelic edge. And this is my least favorite of that era. Not because it's bad. I really enjoy it. It's not as memorable. But I know if I re-listen to it, they've got some banger songs on here. Like, they got a lot of really fucking great ones, like, you know, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, She's Leaving Home, When I'm 64, Lovely Rita, and my personal favorite, probably my favorite Beatles song, A Day in the Life, which goes really hard. And I do love the overall, like, not circus, but like, you know, like, I don't know how to describe, like, circus band, sort of like fun, you know, like Sprout Channel, Nick Jr. kind of vibe for it. It's really fun. When the Beatles gear their stuff towards kids, it's really cute, humble, and simple, and not something you much see often with music artists. But yeah, I think it's not as memorable thinking about it. But if I were to listen to it, like, I'll enjoy it a lot. So that's why I place it here. Number 5, Magical Mystery Tour. I'm still so confused because, like, people say it's an EP or an LP. I don't fucking care. It said album, so I counted it. But yeah. Oh, we're in the top 5. So the reason I placed this at number 5, it's kind of like Sgt. Pepper, where I wouldn't say it's not memorable at all, but again, it's like, thinking about it, I can't remember much of it, but I know listening to it, it'll be great. And I think the reason I placed it here, I thought I just saw fucking Anna, but that's, sorry. The reason I placed it here is that this one's got a lot of banger songs, and this is like the ultimate, like, Beatles are fucking weirdos kind of music. and I fucking love that shit. It's got some of the most experimental music I've ever heard. It's weird, it's wacky, it's zany, it's fucking goofball energy, and I love that shit because I'm a goofball myself. And yeah, and even though overall, like, little kids TV show aesthetic is really fun. Um, I really like the album cover, and yeah, I don't know what to say. It's very, very cheery, very, very good record, and yeah. Coming in at number 4 is Rubber Soul, which I really enjoy a lot. This is kind of like the folk, progressive, rock Beatles record, and I love it a lot for that because it's a good transition from their early stuff into the psychedelic stuff, and it's just generally great. It's got a great roundup of songs. Michelle is probably the one that I remember the most from it. Michelle, Drive My Car. I mean, most of it is all pretty good, even though the outro song is kind of fucked up and weird. On a sound level, it's still really good, and it's yeah, and again, it's got that very hippie folk music blend I really like from the Beatles, which I kind of wish we got more of. Like, there was definitely more of it outside of this, but this is like the only one that really has that full-on vibe to it. But yeah, no, it's still great, and I really enjoyed a lot the energy, the mood, the tone, the production, and yeah, it's just really great. It's definitely one I would revisit a lot. And that's about it. Yeah. Coming in at number 3 is the White Album, the Beatles. I fucking love this album a lot. I know a lot of people like this album, and some say they love it because of how dumb it is, but for me, I actually really enjoy it a lot. Maybe I'm just an idiot and I just like guilty pleasure shit, but this is really like the best Beatles album, maybe, because like what I love about it is that it doesn't feel like a music album. It feels like a movie. Like, every song fits, and some of it's cheeky, and maybe some songs aren't as good as others, but it feels like a perfect flow and overall album experience to listen to. Like, this shit's an hour, and even though the Beatles say, like, they wish they split it up into 2 albums, I personally don't mind it being one. Maybe that's a hot take, but yeah, I just really enjoy it a lot, and it's weird and freaky, and this is one I will definitely revisit a lot, but not in like oh yeah, maybe I'll turn this on. It's one of those, like, I need a moment, I need my time, the right space to listen to this, kind of like any great film, where I don't want to rewatch it like, oh, I'll rewatch it every day. No, like, I gotta, when the time is right and the mood is in, like, I'll rewatch this film and make it special to rewatch. Same with this, like, really special album I listened to. This is one I would have loved as a kid if had I listened to it, and it's definitely hits home personally for me. I just love the aesthetic and the vibe and the music, and I generally enjoy every song, even if some are like very cheesy and dumb. Like, they work to the overall effort of the album, and but I placed it at number 3 because I think the other two, though this one's a great album and an experience, I think the other two just really nailing home the idea of a Beatles record, Coming in at number 2 is Revolver. Definitely the best of the psychedelic stuff. This one's just great. Like, it feels, I was gonna say something dumb, but it's kind of true. Like, this is like the best Tame Impala album before Tame Impala. And I'm just a big fanboy. That definitely made me love the Beatles so much more. 'Cause this is just a great, this is a fucking amazing record. Every song is a banger. I can listen to it over and over again. It's so revisitable, like revisiting. It's got some of their best stuff. The band really puts their all individually into this, and as a cohesive force. And it's just some of the best psychedelic music I've ever heard, and it's just fun and crazy, and I can't even find the words. Like, I feel it. I don't think, I just feel it. And yeah, I mean, maybe I guess I placed it at number 2 because this is definitely the best of the psychedelic Beatles stuff, but I wouldn't call it the best Beatles record. But it's still really great and amazing, and a perfect 10 out of 10. And then coming in at number 1, no fucking duh, I believe this is everybody's number 1, Abbey Road, obviously. I mean, listening to it, I know of its legendary status, but I listened to so many great, like, as I kept listening to every Beatles album, I kept thinking, like, okay, this was really good. Okay, this was really good. Okay, this one was way better. Okay, this one was great. Okay, this one's the best one. I'm thinking it's gonna competition. Okay, no, this one's actually the best one. Okay, no, this one's actually the best. Abbey Road's just the best one. Even Let It Be, it's like, okay, sorry, you didn't compare to Abbey Road. Get the fuck out of here. Like, Abbey Road was just generally the best one. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, it's the best of everything Beatles. It's like a celebration of everything Beatles. This is like the ultimate final album, even though it's not their final album. But you know what, fucking dork. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so fucking great. It's a celebration of everything. It's probably my favorite of the early stuff because it's not even the earliest stuff. It's like their second to last album, but it's a great back to roots Beatles record, and it's just a fantastic LP that you could just. I'm gonna listen to this all the time. It's something I cherish. I already have it on vinyl. I bought that shit immediately. Second I finished it, I ordered that shit on Amazon, got the vinyl, and it's just a masterpiece. They put their A game. They're fucking. You can just feel, listen to it. They put their heart, tear, and shed of blood into this shit, and it's so fucking phenomenal. Like, even if you're not a Beatles fan, if you're gonna listen to one Beatles album in your life, you listen to this one. This is just the best of everything. And even if you listen to it, like, you probably will become a Beatles fan, listen to all their other stuff. Like, it's just so phenomenal and amazing, and it's just like, it's just an ultimate experience. Like, if White Album feels like, you know, a movie, this feels like the finale to a TV show, in all the best ways. And it's just a love letter to the band's history and how they influence music. And it's just, I mean, it's just the best. I don't know what else I could say. You can just watch the main video for my thoughts. There's nothing else I could say. It's the best. Well, that was another ranking. Hope you guys enjoyed this ranking. How do you rank the Beatles albums if you listen to every single one of them? What's your favorite one? What's your least favorite one? I won't judge you, even if your opinion's crazy. I don't care. We're all about expressing ourselves and enjoying the art we consume. And the Beatles are a legendary band. And if you want my full in-depth thoughts into literally all their records and their overall history and their thought process going into every single one, go watch that video on the main channel. The description will be in the link below. The link will be in the description below. And sorry, I talk crazy. And I don't know what else to say. The Beatles, the music legends. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And that was another ranking. It's been sunny and so long. Farewell and goodbye, my peeps.